um, this whole thing of like what I've done, uh, to be honest, I'm gonna level with you. Cops are trying to cause so much animosity and division within communities. And I've seen so much of the same nonsense. And every time somebody tries to save money, their wages get garnished, and no one seems to help them out. And how many people had their wages garnished due to constant government sanctioned interference in them saving money to build generational wealth? So many things that I have an issue with as regards to the United States government. Like, oh, you can't be allowed to build generational wealth. That'll put you on a equal footing with the very wealthy upper elites of the upper epsilon of the wealth and equality and the poverty line and the wealthy upper class. Like, ooh, we don't even need the middle class trying to get up there with us. That'll threaten our bottom dollar. If every Tom, Dick, and Harry, Mary, Lisa, and Sue, Josh, Mark, Robbie, Kim, Kate, Selena, any old motherfucker on the face of the earth to try to become one of us, to try to earn their way to wealth and power. And when somebody robs a bank, bam, the cops get involved. The cops get involved, and then blam, a lot of FBI agents get involved. Then all of a sudden, bam, so much inequality, so much shit, and it's crazy. It's crazy how people think when a lot of people want to save money, and with that being the truly said, a lot of people look at the police like the police are the problem. Like, how many people grew from like poor to having generational wealth? Like, how many people wished they were on the same level as the rich and the wealthy and the powerful? Like, seriously, I need some good examples of where a lot of people end up, doing good as a rich person while simultaneously making even more money like, oh, you donated time to charity. Yeah, you did, but you made even more money off of that. The whole point of this whole fucking charity thing was to get you to pay your fucking fair dues as a rich person. Not for you to make money. Not for you to think you get the right to make even more money from it. But I'll be damned if the upper elites aren't going to pay their fair share. And I'll be damned if the police and the FBI is not going to hold these bitches accountable. Like, I'm sick and tired of these upper epsilonistically rich elitist motherfuckers not paying their dues. The government has been weaponized against the poor and the middle class. But if the poor and the middle class unite and punish the wealthy and scold the United States government for this kind of bullshit. But if the poor and the middle class unites, that'll be the end of the rich and the wealthy and the powerful. A lot of people would aggressively accuse their government of said bullshit. Like, seriously. Like, how many people worry about providing for their families? How many poor people worry about like providing for their families, paying for their schooling, and then paying for a lot of things? Like, seriously. Like, a lot of people just worry, like absolutely worry about being, poor, homeless, starving, and the cost of gas rising every fucking time. All because people don't want to, make solar powered cars. Because if they made solar powered cars, they would have like a lot of issues. Solar powered cars making for said competition with solar powered cars. Like, people see that the solar powered cars end up having to put an end like they would have like a lot of like electric cars and gas cars becoming obsolete. And that's what they worry. Like a car that don't need repairs, a car that don't need gas or electricity, That would put the wealthy people in such jeopardy. But oh, no. Oh, no. They don't want to create a car that the poor and the working class can use to get around. Like, seriously. Like I see how people react to gas prices, and at this fucking rate, the gas prices that are so fucking crazy, you might as well have a solar powered car to fucking save your little poor or working class ass some money. Like, seriously. Like, we have like a lot of people wanting to have a fuel efficient car, but a solar powered car would be the end of the vehicle manufacturing companies. And it's already going to head that way. It's starting with like electric cars. And those electric cars are insanely expensive. Those electric self-driving cars are insanely expensive. Way more expensive than both gas prices and gas guzzling cars and fossil fuel guzzling cars combined. And who knows? Solar powered cars might be going for at least what, like almost like $250,000 fucking dollars. And who the fuck knows? And we all know smart houses are going to become extremely expensive as shit when it comes time to actually make them a fucking realistic fucking thing. A smart house with highly smart televisions. I mean, we already have smartphones. Back when smartphones were the first thing that came out, they were 100, maybe probably $1,000 fucking dollars when they first came out. And we all know that when it comes to like generational wealth, the police don't want people to like don't want like people like gaining generational wealth amongst the poor and the middle class, to where everything is fucking financially equal in this fucking country. Like, I see so much shit going on. And I see it going on quite a fucking bit. And I want to know, why is it that equal opportunities to get a job, bigger, fatter paychecks, and I want to know why. Why is it that when cops see somebody robbing banks, like I see like a lot of issues going on. Like, how many people went from being like on the brink of becoming wealthy to becoming so dirt poor? And I mean so dirt poor. I mean, we got like a lot of people going and ending up going from being poor to middle class to middle class to middle upper class. And then once all that fucking wealth dries, all that developing wealth dries up, bam! A lot of people, a lot of the people ended up broke and back to square one. Some of them are fucking homeless. From homeless to poor to middle class to middle to upper class to upper class. And we all know those governmental heathens, those governmental wretched governmental stupid dumb fucks in the United States government don't want people getting rich and wealthy and powerful. They don't want to see people succeed and do better for themselves. There is way too much animosity between the people and the police and the classes of people and the government. We all know that the older generation cashes in on their retirement, thusly becoming rich themselves. And the young poor people can't even get jack shit due to wealth inequality, due to some sorry son of a bitch who is like like 5 decades past their prime. Some old fuck who is 5 decades past his or her prime of their fucking youth. We got 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds, teenagers. We got these motherfuckers hating the way the government is, and hates how the government is basically operating. Basically sending money, our hard-earned money, to a foreign country to fund a foreign country's genocide. And that is the cold hard truth. And when somebody robs a bank, a GM, Fortune 500 bank account that is tied to a Fortune, like a General Motor Fortune 500 company, and robbing the biggest account out of the entire company, which is the very, very, very owner of the General Motor Fortune 500 company, and subsidized housing. Don't get me started on that shit. That shit's abysmal. People are forced to live on Section 8 for a fucking decade, while the rich upper epsilonist of motherfuckers wanna pay a mortgage, a $250,000 mortgage every fucking week, and then some sorry sad sack of shit ends up getting involved in putting so much of their stock into running their own little company. And some of these General Motor Fortune 500 companies are high-rise building-based companies. Too many of them to count. And when a lot of people ran foul of the law trying to acquire themselves, like legally acquire themselves, like the whole financial wealth. There's too many people forced to live a normal life, living a poor life, because of the simple fact is that no one wants to hire them. So they go and they rob a fucking bank. Maybe if people started, maybe if landlords started paying attention to what they're doing and started coming down on the rent, and maybe, just maybe, going from paying rent, then we would all have like easier time slowly weaning ourselves off of Section 8 and weaning ourselves off of government assistance through saving money on rent. That means saving money on rental properties, saving money on rental cars due to the cheapening up of rental homes and rental cars. A lot of people would save a lot of money and being able to finally move out of their rental homes, and finally being able to buy a home, like actually buy a home, and to actually buy a car to where they don't need to pay the car notes to actually buy a car, like legitimately buy a car without needing to rent it, and without it getting repossessed, and without needing to pay car notes. Like, seriously. That's why America's just becoming the worst country. Like, how many people wanted to have their own vehicle, but no one was willing to give them a said vehicle that they don't need to pay up on. Because some shady shyster, an idiot shyster, runs his mouth about, oh, so-and-so didn't pay the car note or pay the interest rates on the car. And end up like not wanting to shell out $5,000 a fucking month or so for the fucking car. Because I'm too fucking lazy and fucking cheap to fucking order a new car off of the internet to put on my lot to sell. But no, that would make way too much sense. That would make way too much sense if that was the case. Because if that was the case, nobody would be wanting to pay the car notes. No one would need to if that was the case. And if that was the case, we would have cars being sold online and then delivered to car dealerships to replace the previous car that they sold. But oh, no, that would make way too much sense to do it that way. Where's the fucking extortionistic profit from that? Where's the extortionistic profit from like selling and not expecting the buyer of the car to pay the car note? But oh no, that would make way too much sense. But if they just started building houses every fucking where in this country, and I literally mean every fucking where in this country, we would see a lot of homeless people getting homes and just selling the very houses and to bundle that house with the fucking utilities. And with that being the case, there wouldn't be need to pay any of the house payments, because all of the utilities that have been bundled has already been paid in full when the house got bought. And the community itself is renting each new house that is being built with built-in utilities That means full internet, full heating, gas, electricity, water and sewage, all of it being bundled up with a newly built house. And then when the house is bought, the community doesn't have to pay any fucking rent for the fucking house or the fucking utilities for the newly built house. Because that would make way too much sense. That would make way too much sense. And hiring any old motherfucker off of the fucking streets and getting them a job so that way they can build work experience and build up a fucking 401k big enough to pass down to their descendants that are at least like the fourth generation of the family to gain possession and ownership, like as a collective, gaining ownership of generational wealth that they all share. And that generational wealth building up to a colossal titan, a colossal primordial gigantic titan of a 401k that became a generational wealth inheritance. And the healthcare system. Let's get started on the fucking healthcare system. If the hospitals actually did their jobs and the medicine manufacturing companies actually did their jobs of making medicine that absolutely works to absolutely help keep people alive and healthy without negative side effects, without one day somebody dying of old age, because of the simple fact is that the medicine is insufficient. And if they actually did their jobs, the hospitals and the pharmaceutical companies actually did their jobs correctly, there would be no need to weaponize the medical field against the sick and dying. To where the sick and the dying ends up getting a huge ass, colossally huge ass chance of surviving the next, next 100 years, next 200 years, living that long. And don't get me started on the eroding health of the mind and the health of the mobility. Like, that's a part of the healthcare system. Like, medication absolutely razor sharpens the mind and razor sharpens the mobile ability, to where even like soak and wet and slather and drench the natural joints with natural lubrication that's been restored and permanently restored to the skeletal joints and lubricating and being like a medical WD-40, and 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 like medical varnishing and medical varnishing of the tendons and ligaments and sinews, well within the joints, well within the vertebrae, and over lubricating the skeletal joints of the people to permanently restore their mental functionality and restore their mobile ability permanently. And let's not forget restoring their cognitive abilities with their bladders, their intestines, permanently restoring their ability to not piss on themselves, to not shit on themselves at an old age. And let's not forget the whole getting fucking old shit. Like restoring their youthful vitality and youthful exuberance. Like a medication that could become both a pill bottle of youth, like a fountain of youth, crossbreed with immortality. That's the one thing that they don't want people to have. That's the one thing that the system doesn't want people to have. Is a way to become ever young and ever young, ever exuberant, if you will. Young, exuberant, never needing to go to the hospital ever again to get a surgery done and upgrading the human ability to heal up immediately from a fucking injury, regrow a fucking limb or something, I don't know. Or better yet, the ability to regrow teeth, like literally regrow teeth. Like you could get as many teeth as you want knocked out of your mouth and you could still regenerate your fucking full smile. But oh no. That would be too convenient for the public. That would put the dentists out of business. And that would make hospitals almost rendered obsolete. That would make too much sense. That would make too much sense though. That would be way too convenient for human beings. And also, let's not forget the sexually transmitted illnesses being snuffed out permanently to where no one needs medical treatment anymore for that kind of shit, and birth control pills are only optional, and condoms permanently rendered obsolete. And that would make the human race up to however many or however much or however amount of human beings that would be like alive on the earth, and the earth would be beyond overcrowded if that was the case. There'd be 25 billion humans maxed, like a solid 25 billion humans maxed on the planet. That means every generation would be alive, all the generations being alive all at once, thusly rendering retirement homes obsolete forever if that was the case. But the police don't want people to get ahead in life. That's the problem with policing these days. Because if somebody or if anybody tried to achieve borderline godhood on the earth for themselves, that would disrupt the entire system. Everyone would become a god at that point, being able to withstand any fucking thing. Being able to withstand any fucking thing would make them, and let alone having insanely sharp smarts in the fucking brain, like having a biological biocomputer sitting inside the fucking skull, like somebody who has being born with a biocomputer sitting inside the fucking skull from birth, being born already fucking educated and smart as shit, already knowing everything from the jump since the day that they were born. They already know everything, which would make even the education system, which is an institution and business, obsolete. The government don't want people, especially the middle class or the poor people or the homeless people, achieving godhood for themselves. Because if that was the case, that would make much more sense if that was the case. And if that was the case, a lot of people would become gods themselves. Like, that would make way too much sense if that was the case. Meaning, people would naturally know good from evil. They would know everything automatically. And let's not forget the whole concept of societal norms being changed. Like, that would make way too much sense, and if I'm being honest. And knowing how to use technology, like, a lot of people would like a lot of people would become gods themselves, like big gods. There will no longer be human. There will only be a world infested with gods. Like a world infested with nothing but gods and no humanity. But having like compassion and empathy being a thing, meaning a compassionate divine being. You see, the government and each generation doesn't want people to evolve to that degree and that extreme. That's the problem with the policing these days.